Well, that didn't age well. Yeah, so every time I get a knock on the door now, I get that was the post person. However, every time I get a knock on the door, I'm a little bit concerned because, like, the last time I got a knock on the door, the person who knocked on the door, like, shouted my name a second later, and I was really, really glad that I entered the stream when I did. So yeah, that's why I, like, instantly entered the stream there, because I didn't want a repeat of nearly getting doxxed. So yeah, I apologise for the stream randomly disappearing and reappearing and for the double ping. However, you guys should, like, know by now I am incompetent. You should expect this. I'm just having a drink because this also gave me an opportunity to get myself some water. Which I feel was much deserved water. Oh, I needed that. My throat is already feeling a little bit better. Okay, so I don't think. Okay, so I was trying to find places that it's not possible to jump up onto normally, but that it's very, very close. So here, like, if we get even that small amount of height, we get up onto that. So. Oh, okay, so I guess that is possible with a well-timed pusher forwards. That's the thing. There's actually some subtlety in LU to the timing of your jump, the timing of the double jump, and to the timing of pressing forward. Because pressing forward seems to give you, like, some friction as you touch the wall, which makes it harder to get up and over the wall. And the timing of double jump also affects things because it does affect how high you go. Okay, so here we are on a slope. Let's just see. This should give us, like, a somewhat repeatable. So because we're kind of on a slope that's kind of continuing upwards here, I can just select a point and test. So I'm assuming this is not going to do anything, but okay. Okay, so that didn't get me up there, but I need to recharge imagination. This is going to be a thing with with Venture already, I can see. I'm going to have imagination problems. In fairness, I shouldn't have any more than I would normally have with Summoner, but of course, eventually, with Summoner, I tend not to use imagination that often. I'll get a boombox from over there at some point and recharge myself. Okay, so the thing that interests me about this is that my damage was dealt up here. So I'm assuming if I'm running along with this, it's going to halt me when I do this attack. Yeah. But notice the fact that there I did the damage on the ground. Previously I did the damage higher up. Like, part of my hitbox must have touched the wall. I'm going to have another drink. And so I did actually deal the damage higher up. So, this does mean it's possible to jump higher than you should be able to in LU. And also, that means the actual... This is actually quite cool. That means the actual hitbox was higher. Okay, I'm going to go get the... I'm going to go get the imagination brick from over here. Because that will get me a nice way to recharge imagination, a nice everlasting thing. So let's do that. What happened is I got a knock on the door, and the last time I got a knock on the door, someone called my name through the letterbox. And so I ended the stream very, very quickly. In retrospect, I could have just muted myself, but if someone is calling my name through the letterbox, maybe it's something I need to do something with. In which case, yeah. Sorry, I'm now doing this one-handed because I had my water ready to have a drink and then started speaking. There we are. Ah, you love the water. Love the water. Love to see it. Okay, so let's just quickly go up here, get this, and then let's try... Because you're insanely close to getting the Avant-Garde into Imagination Brick normally. With the Funky Horn, like, I kind of assumed that there was... We couldn't think of anything in the game which increased your jump height. I'm pretty certain Funky tested this. but I don't know how much testing he did with it. And, like, it does seem to properly increase your jump height, so I can get rid of that. I should be wearing these. I can get... Must be level 10 or greater, really? Okay. Okay, let's just drop off stuff we don't need. Don't need the dungarees. I normally like to save those up just to show that drops are a little bit broken at the moment, but do that. Katana of shielding won't be much use by the time we can actually use it. We'll have something better. Again, don't need any of those, and can get rid of this for good measure. Don't I have a push to mute button? Yeah, well, no, I don't, but I could set one up. The only issue is that if I do set one up, I can't guarantee, like, how long I'll be having to... If someone does come to the door, I have no idea how long I'll be having to do stuff with. It could be anything from door-to-door salesperson and be like me saying, no thanks, not interested, and walking off, to a friend coming to the door and me actually having to, like, help them for potentially an arbitrarily long period of time. So that's why. Okay, so I can't do it. Let's just give this a go. I assume this shouldn't work, but there's... Ooh, that is cool. That is cool. Okay. I did not realise. Okay, I also haven't actually just looked at the attacks yet. Okay, so we get one, and that attack's presumably going to be a little bit AoE. No, maybe not. I expect to have at least a little bit of range. Doesn't look like it. That's alright. Can live with that. Okay, so no extra range, no extra AoE, but honestly, like, it's already overpowered enough that they're giving us 4 attacks in a row. Because, like, nothing is 4 attacks in a row. I did not realise this did. Did not realise all eventually. I thought it was just the Daredevil. So it was just quite cool. Okay, so let's... And yeah, having the permanent full steam ahead, that's going to be quite cool. I think, what does it do? Knocks down enemies. Okay. So knocking down is separate in LU from knocking back. And should give some sort of stun effect. It didn't feel particularly conclusive as to whether or not we actually stunned the enemies in Avant Garden, so I don't think we did. But this will be a nice way to check if they're knocked down. Because the stun, obviously they attacked right when the stun ended. But that could be because the attack was overriding the stun, or it could be that, well, obviously they attack when the stun ends. However, they'll be trying to walk at all times. And we'll be able to see whether or not they get up from having been knocked down. Whether or not they get up again every time when they hit the ground. Hello, DMCA. Hi. So, I mean, the only downside is this means you're going to be hearing a lot of funky horn. Which some would argue is not a downside. Okay, let's... Okay, this is... If I were good, this would be kind of convenient. I'm evidently not, but yeah, infinite Quixicles. Infinite Quixicles, I highly rate. Then they don't have as long an uptime as Quixicles, but can live with that, having infinite of them kind of makes up for that. And honestly, most of the time I'm using a Quixsicle, I don't need it to have that long duration. Okay, getting from place to place, I'd quite often quite like to have a Quixsicle, because, like, there you do want duration, but here you... Okay. That's the issue. Okay, maybe we could still try Super Jump. Maybe we can still give this a go. Yeah, so I've got to land on there. That's... I used to think that was a really hard jump. And, like, I guess back then I was just a lot worse at this. Because, like, now I've been kind of testing stuff for the... I'm still not a speedrunner, but I have been testing stuff and routing stuff for this... Well, okay, I technically am a speedrunner. But I've been spending so much time testing stuff for the speedrunning community that, yeah. I'm paranoid because I entered the last stream when I got a knock on the door. How are you, Baker? Okay, so let's go for this again. Yeah, I have just gotten a lot better, but also, like, now we know ground pounds cancel momentum, which is insanely helpful and makes things a lot easier. Okay, I'm just being bad. Eventually we'll get this jump. It's ironically, given how hard I thought it was going to be for someone to pull off. I properly thought this would be too hard to pull off in reality. And it just so wasn't. Okay, let's just give this a go. Or I could actually give the correct thing a go, but... Hey, still not high enough. Oh, right, that's fair enough. But that was weird, wait a sec. So I tried jumping directly afterwards and it, like... Okay, that must have just been a one-time bug, it kind of felt like it ate my jump. Anyway, okay, so... That's not possible. How can we... Okay, we need a nice test. We need a nice test of whether the speed is any different to that of a Quixocle. First thing that springs to mind is, like, distance. Don't have a good way of marking distance, but, like... I don't know. We can like, find if we line up with stuff on the ground. If I were another class, I could. If I were an engineer, I could actually... mark. If I had an engineer friend online, I could actually mark, but more effort probably than it's worth. Gonna want to do a few runs just for well, the physicist, gotta get myself that consistency in my results. And I'm gonna want it to be off a reasonably high place. So okay, I don't want to. Okay, that's too many. I'm used to buying Quixocles in bulk, which actually I should buy some in bulk, because they'll be useful for getting from place to place, even though we do have this kind of infinite Quixocle. Never do that while still moving, because it discounts it. And that wasn't even what I meant to do. I'm bad. Okay. Let's get ourselves some imagination back. Okay. So how are we going to measure... Can you make this in one with a Quixocle? Yeah, I'm pretty certain you can. Can I make it in one from the standing start? Easily. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing how far you can go with Quixocles. Okay. So, that would be interesting. What if we raced against a fan? That might be a reasonably good way. That might be a reasonably good way of testing this. Okay, let's give this a go. Because, if I can make headwind with one and not with the other, that, instant. Gotta be careful not to turn off. Let's do this one. That would instantly give us an answer. Okay, so let's... Okay, so first attempt with Quixocle. We do make progress. We make sufficient progress to... Yeah, we make sufficient progress that I could get past that. Okay, how... And now we want to compare and contrast. Oh, they're on separate... They're on separate cooldowns. If this applies a boost, like a percentage boost or something... This... Oh, I am interested. Okay, let's first off try this. Fair test, fair test. Okay, we're making similar progress, it feels. Make progress primarily when in the air, but we did that with the other one. Okay, so lesser cooldown. That's fine. Okay. Now, let's try both of these at once. Okay, let's just think for a second. So, the application of these effects... So, the question is, even if this does work, does this count Let's count on actual runs. And I'm going to say yes, because this effect would have been achievable in original LU. To explain why, the fact that these are in different recharge classes is something that's client-sided. Or that we at least know from the client side. So that's going to be accurate to original LU. And like, so the fact that we can apply both of them at once, that is going to be accurate. Okay, I'm going to stop guessing, because maybe just nothing will happen. That felt a lot easier. Was it just that I got better after repeatedly doing that? But that took me like 2 jumps to get up there. Which was far fewer than I'd done previously. Let's try this again. So I couldn't find any discernible difference between the 2 of these when trying. Let's give it a go for the Quixocle. Let's see if I can... No, there is no way I could get... Maybe I had a run-up. Maybe I gave myself a run-up. I shouldn't have done, but let's just try. If I give myself a run-up, then I can make it up in 2. I can make it up in almost exactly the same way. Okay, maybe I just gave myself a run-up when I shouldn't have done. Okay, so we're gonna... Let's just get some imagination back. I didn't mean to double jump. I was spamming it Alt rather than... Anyway. Okay, so let's start here. No run-up. Apply one, then the other. And I try and run forwards. It feels faster. But I think that might just be placebo. Okay. Don't know if a watch. That'd be helpful right now. Okay, let's... I probably shouldn't attempt to set up live split midstream. Because what I'm thinking we can do is we can just measure the time it takes me to get from like that starting thing, because that's clearly enough to find right there. Just measure the time it takes me to get from there to there. However, honestly, if we're getting like an extra factor of the speed applied multiple times, like we should be able to feel it, which makes me think maybe we're not. I should also try applying these in 2 different orders. So let's go first with full steam ahead and then with Quixocle. So full steam ahead, let's get moving, then Quixocle. I feel like we're not getting double bonuses, which is kind of to be expected. Okay, there's one other thing I'd be interested in testing. I don't think I get enough height from the super jump. I'd be interested in seeing if I can. Let's just try. I need to regen some imagination quickly. Why is this everything I do that devolves into this? Okay, so let's just see. Compare with that. How high do I go? Okay, I go about to there. Now, super jump, how high do I go? I don't actually feel I go much higher. Certainly not high enough to abuse any glitches with the moving platform, which is what I was hoping I could manage to do. But speaking of abusing glitches with the moving platform, I wonder... So the moving platform has a rather unique property in the game, which is that it changes... standing above it changes the momentum you have. So let's see, if I do this, what happens? Okay, that overrides that, dang it. I was hoping they would... Oh well. One more thing to check. Can I spam Alt to get out of this? Yes, I can. Oh. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Okay, so the reason I thought maybe I can spam ult to get out of this is because it seems to be landing in the same way as a ground pound lands. And I discovered a while back that if you are ground pounding, you can spam ult to get out of it, like depending on your timing. It took honestly a lot longer than that did, but I'm guessing that's because this power-up starts the ground pound state a lot earlier. If I had to guess a reason why, that would be it. But that's interesting. I'm assuming you're not in a jump state when you leave. Like, that would be... that'd be an easy height glitch to abuse. Okay, so, what am I going to do? I'm going to hit 2. I'm then going to spam Alt and space. No, I'm going to do... Yeah. 2. Spam Alt, and then space. So here's the thing. My attack... The attack... Wait a second. Oh, that's weird. So the server isn't recognizing that attack. I do. Because you note how fast that respawned and the fact that it didn't drop anything. I was looking before at the... Oh, we're into some weird territory here. Like, weird as in stuff I have not seen before, at any point. Like, weird as in potentially new bugs. Like, client-sided bugs. For anyone wondering why I'm so interested in client-sided bugs, they're the only kind of bugs that are basically allowable in speedrunning. Look at that, though. As I'm falling down, I am performing the attacks. In each attack I perform, I stop. Let me try this with a little bit of height. This is new. This is something new. This is 100% something new. I've not seen it. Of course, I mucked that up. I have not seen an effect like this before in the game, and let's face it, I've spent enough time looking for bugs of sorts with this. Okay, so let's try and do this. So fortunately, we're Buccaneer, which means we've got 4 attacks. So I'm going to jump up. I'm going to press forwards, and I'm going to spam attack. Jump up, forwards, spam attack. Oh, weird. Okay, so can I not move forwards? This is interesting. So do these attacks just only exist on the client then? Why is this happening? Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit Alt. Oh, I mistimed my Alt. Okay, let's just get this again. So, 2. Alt, Alt, Alt. I feel like if I timed that better, I'd have... If I time that better, I can get more. Because I'm pretty certain I have managed to get more, like, attacks in. But if we're getting extra... If we can get extra jump height, that will be, like, a first, basically. Thing is, we can't activate this whilst we're in midair. That's out, because no attacks get activated whilst you are in midair. However, if we could convince the game that we weren't in midair whilst we were in midair, that would be powerful. That's what I'm wondering if this glitch does. It obviously doesn't get you very much height, but what if you could chain it with something else? What about something that basically fixes your character in position for a long period of time? So I'm thinking something like perhaps the scratch. If you could convince the client you were in midair whilst doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to, once for testing, we've got nice imagination here, they'll respawn. Okay, so spamming this. Okay, and that is a state like no other I've seen before. It is in the air, but we are on the standing state. Those attacks you were seeing me doing, let's look what happens if I jump and hit attack. I get one attack. double jump attack. So no, that's the same, doing the same series of attacks. It thinks I'm on the ground. It thinks I'm on the ground in that state. Which means we can... I mean, I can't think of any... Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else we can combine with this. Like, I mean, we can in theory combine something like full steam ahead, but that's, I mean, that's not going to do much. We also don't seem to be able to move forward whilst in this state, which is weird, and I have no idea why. It may just be... I just spammed alt there. Why did that work differently? Wait a second, let's just test this. Okay, so let's say I'm not moving. Okay, let's say I'm not moving, then I hit Alt, press forward, and then... Okay, so after the first one, it doesn't let you move. So from the second we enter... Hello, Encree! This is cool. You'll be interested in seeing this. Okay, take it. So let's you might be able to give me some information on what's actually happening server side with this as well. So we are dealing with the Buccaneer Super Jump, because this is an interesting thing that gets you into the air, basically. So let's just note the animations I have currently playing. Those four. Jump attack, that one. Double jump attack, this one. Now I'm going to do the following. I'm going to hit 2, which is going to be my super jump attack, and then I'm going to spam alt. Spam alt. And it didn't work that time. Let's try this again. It seems to be almost to do with the camera angle. Let's go down here. Wait, that smashed stuff down there. That's cool. Didn't know it would do that. Okay, let's try this again. And now... Wait, that's... So is it reliant on time? Is it reliant on timing before it does that? Basically, the bug is that if I time this right, and I currently have no idea what's affecting the timing. Let's try this. Okay, there we are. Okay, so you see, I played all the animations I would were I on the ground. The server does not recognise that I've attacked it. But the client does. This, I'm assuming, is an allowable speedrunning bug. Because by the looks of things, right? Like, I'm assuming DLU has attacks correctly implemented, which means I'm guessing it's that part of the tree where the game checks is the character on the ground. And the game currently thinks I'm on the ground. We can tell it thinks I'm on the ground because of those jumps. But the server's like, no, you idiot, you're obviously not on the ground, and so doesn't let you perform the attack. I'm guessing that could be what's going on. I don't know for a fact. But whatever this is, it is weird. It's the only time I have been in the air and the game has ever thought I've been anywhere near on the ground. And so I'm trying to abuse this. I'm trying to come up with any way to abuse it I can. What happens if you jump when you're in the middle of a attack? Okay, so you are unable to jump when you're in the middle of a series of attacks. Okay. Okay. Fortunately, we've got a moving... Hello, Encree. Fortunately, we've got a moving platform. I'm bad. Okay, fortunately we've got a moving platform here, so hopefully we can test some of this quite easily. So my current theory is that when we're attacking with this, it's breaking our state. It's breaking us out of this state. Somehow, don't know how, don't know why, but it seems to be. However, we cannot jump when we're in the middle of a series of attacks. And jumping is the easiest way of telling if the game thinks we're on the ground. So. Did that just lag out? Yeah, okay. So, what do? Let's try this. Super jump now. Attack, attack. Do nothing. Okay. Is it just a cursed movement switch behavior? Okay, so so it's attacking as though I were in the jump state, but my jumps are not registering. My jumps aren't registering as though I were in the jump state, because note, I went right away for a backflip there. You only do the backflip when you're in the second part of your double jump. Of course. So let's just do that again. I'm going to do this once. We see me attacking. Okay, I mucked up there. But yeah, so... Okay, so we attack as... I'm basically just wondering what we do. So it seems we execute attacks as though we're on the ground. I guess maybe that could just be a server-side bug. That it's still letting us execute attack. No, because the client has to confirm. The client has to be sending the message to the server to do attacks. Yeah, it is a ground combo in the air. But I'm wondering, given it's a ground combo in the air, what else can we pull off in the air? Because if we can pull off arbitrary things like ground combos in the air, like, that's insanely powerful. Okay, useful thing. The game doesn't count you as moving if you funky horn whilst on a moving platform. Okay, so let's give this a go. Jump into the air. Gonna attack. And because I finished the end of the attack, because I'm just used to spamming attack when I do this, right? Okay, so the alternative way of testing it, I can try and steam train. Yeah, the client's like, yeah, I should be on the floor right now. Wait a second, how precisely does this work with your standard double jump ground pound cancel? So okay, I need more height for this. So what I discovered a while back is that whilst it's useful and useless in most places, if you start high enough and do, then basically just do a series of double jumps and attacks, basically the game will, after a certain amount of time, your double jump will time out and you'll be able to end it by pressing Alt. That was what I was testing. That was the kind of idea I had when I found this. So let's just try this again. Gonna run. Gonna double jump. Okay, watch. I've spammed. Damn, I'm not high enough still. I don't have any mod powers on this account, so I can't get up much higher than this. Try to think of places in the game which are higher. Nothing springing to mind. Potentially the Forbidden Valley launcher in Nimbus Station. Anywhere accessible. What else do we have? Oh. I mean, the obvious place is an out of bounds glitch, but I mean, I could easily enough. Okay, I say easily enough. The nearest out of. Oh no, I've got infinite quicksicles, so nearest out of bounds glitch. There's a nice, easy one in Avant Gardens we could do. Or, because I just want height to demonstrate this, and well, I don't just want to demonstrate this. There is also something I need to test with it. Can I? Where can I go that'll get me high enough? I feel like if I... right where Ankry is. It's almost as though he knows what he's doing. Okay, let's attempt to demonstrate this trick off here. Okay, so we do this. I'm spamming attack. No. No, is that just I don't have enough height? Or is that something that DLU had patched? I thought this was entirely... server-sided that, but it could just be a client-sided bug from a particular server, or a server-sided bug from a particular server. I didn't think it was, though. Okay, anyway, it seems I can't reproduce that. So I can stop trying to reproduce it. This also explains, because we're only getting stuff going on when we're attacking, that explains a large part of the movement cancelling. It'd be funky stunning. Ah, and stunning presumably being server side. Oh, what? So when I do this, the game message is meant to be sent to stun my character for a certain amount of time, and the game message isn't sent from the server. So this may just be a DLU bug. If it is, I'm going to be disappointed, but I can live with that. Oh yeah, true, I still... I guess better than the stunning message, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know precisely what's going on. Okay. Whatever this is weird. Okay, so the last remaining thing I want to test is how much does it think I am on the ground? Like, specifically, can I do something I should only be able to do whilst on the ground? So, and the reason I'm saying, like, the keys I'm going to hit first is because that then actually means I do it. So, I'm going to hit 2. After I'm at the peak of my jump, I'm going to hit Alt, then I'm going to hit 5. So, I'm going to do this. 2. I'm going to hit Alt, and now I'm going to hit 5. And of course, that's stupid because quick scores are one of the few items you actually can activate when you're in midair and when the client thinks you're in midair. So, that's not interesting. Oh, hello, first faction token. See, Ancrete. Thanks for helping me out. Okay. So, let's get something we can't activate whilst in the eye. Can we use I don't really want to... we can get infinite firecrackers, because we just buy them. What else doesn't... I don't really have anything else that... super jump. Okay. Okay, I'm spending more money on this than perhaps I should, but let's... But I've got a theory, and let's see if we can test it out. Oh, or alternative... So I was going to go and buy the... what is it? The Scythe of the Winds, I think, from there. Because that has an attack on the offhand. But of course, I can just use the charge up for this. If the charge up works, like, okay, watch, I'm in midair, press and hold space, press and hold Alt, no charge up. However, it thinks I'm on the ground, so I may be able to... Mucked up. So I may be able to release... To actually activate a charge up whilst I'm in midair. Which again would be like the first time. But again, I can't think of a particular use for this, but we'll see. Because I'm sure people like Funky will come up with something clever. Okay, that makes me think this might be server-sided. So, I was able to simultaneously... The server corroborated that. That's interesting, because that's why my imagination went down after the fact, I guess. Oh no. I might have just crashed the server. I think that may be what's just happened, or the server's just really, really laggy. I think I might have just crashed the server. Ah, well. That might be it for today then. Oh no. Oh no, it is just really laggy. Is that... The only thing I can think is that must be something I have done. Because I think I'm the only person online right now. So this just really, really weirdly bug out DOU. I mean, it's not impossible. Okay, let's go for a relog. Because we're getting tons of lag at the moment, so we want to log out rather than switch minifigures, because switch minifigures still request stuff of the server. Okay, so at the very... No lag there. How easily do we get into AG? Okay, so far nothing taking too long. So far that was in easily fast enough. Okay, and now let's see. The other thing is it could be like a really... So that was almost instant. Whatever's going on here, it is strange. I don't know if... So the server was still working as of I left. As of me leaving. It would have had... And the DLU servers go down after like 10 minutes of someone not being on them. Which means it shouldn't have restarted. It shouldn't have been a server restart. Which almost feels like... It could have just been me leaving that's fixed whatever lag that was. Okay, so what we want... we're testing charge up, so we don't need anything here. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do one attack. Now hold. But of course, because I'm already in the attack cycle, it won't let me hold. And I can't get anywhere higher up unless I can. I'm just thinking of a place I can get higher up that has something that will disappear from underneath of me. The first place springing to mind being up here. Because although this is bugged, it might be bugged and is sufficiently... I don't think that gives us enough height. Any other moving platforms I can think of? Oh, wait a second. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, for anyone who's just recently started and is wondering what's going on, I've either just discovered a really obscure bug with DLU, or I've discovered possibly the first client-sided bug with any potential to get you any extra height in game. Which would be a really, really big breakthrough for speedrunning LU if I have managed it. Because, like, that would fine. In theory, this could give us... In theory, this could get... I don't know. Hopefully, this would allow... It's putting us in a weird state. And hopefully... And that state is when it thinks the client thinks we're on the ground and the server doesn't. Now, my initial reaction is that it was probably a client-side bug, but as Encree mentioned, it could also be to do with stunning, which would basically be the server acknowledging to the client, yes, you have sent this attack, now you're not going to be able to do another attack for a couple of seconds. I don't know how stunning works on the client. I don't know if the client handles stuns itself or waits for the server. I guess the easiest... I'm thinking the easiest way to do it would be to organise a server crash. Because if I could organise a server crash... Or I guess I could just... Okay, so I wouldn't be able to do this on stream, but I could just disconnect myself from the internet. Attempt to perform this, because I won't get kicked out instantly when I disconnect from the internet. Nothing else obviously will be going to DLU servers, but I won't get kicked out instantly. It will take a little while before my client realises I'm no longer connected. Which means I'm pretty certain all of these attacks... Presumably you need to have the attack equipped, but I would assume in order to avoid latency they don't wait for the server to tell you you can perform the attack. In the same way like your standard attacks don't wait for the server. The server has to acknowledge it and has to send the results of it, but the client will do some preliminary stuff just assuming the results. So let's give this a go. I'm going to hit Alt once, just after I do the backflip at the top of my cycle. Okay, Alt, then press and hold Alt. You've got to like do Alt, wait, then press and hold. Unless, of course, I can just press and hold from the top. Oh! But that was what I did the... Oh, also, note, this hasn't gone down, which means we've probably put the server into a laggy state. I bet if I attack those, it'll lag out right now. Let's jump up. Okay, and so I started performing that charge up. Stuff is really weird. I don't know what's going on with half of this stuff. This would be... I'd be interested to, like, yeah, know what's going on DLU's side at the moment. Because, like, we're getting all these delayed responses to things. I don't know if that's from stuff going slowly on DLU's end or stuff going slowly on my end. Okay, so press and hold charge, and there we are. We are charging the entire way down. So, what does that mean? It means that the entire time we are in that jump state... Oops. It means that the entire time we are in that jump state, the server thinks, or it seems like almost the entire time anyway, certainly from when you're in the top of that jump state, the server seems to think you're on the ground, and but you can still execute. Okay. Okay. So, we're definitely being put into a stun. We know we're being put into a stun for at least some period of time, because there, I activated this, then held Alt almost instant. Here we've got this lag, which I'm assuming must be related to whatever it is I'm doing. I don't know how. Really? Yeah, so we're being put into a stun right at the attack, but it seems the stun ends... The stun seems to end the second we reach our peak, which I guess makes sense. The game wants, if an enemy runs underneath of you, it wants you to, like, smash the enemy instantly. And the easiest way of doing it for the game is to just do smash when you land or something. So it seems to put you into the attack of a ground pound without putting you onto the ground first. So it doesn't update you from being... Okay, so here's the theory. It doesn't update you from being on the ground when you hit this, because it assumes you're going to land on the ground again directly after. However, it also knows that you might be landing on a stromling or something, and the stromling might run underneath you whilst you're in midair. So it has to, from the second you reach the peak of your jump, it has to be ready to end the thing at any point in time. So that's the theory for what's going on with this, which means that from the second you reach the peak of your jump, you will end up in the standard ground pound state. I think that's the theory. You end up with the ground pound attack playing, but with the server thinking you're still... The server and the client thinking you're still standing on the ground. My money is still that this is client-sided. I guess the easiest way to test it would be to hop on over to LCDIU. But I'm still interested in seeing how far I can exploit this. So, next test. Can I activate full steam ahead whilst in midair? Yes. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Can I activate full steam ahead whilst in midair? Okay, so I need an ability that I can't activate whilst in midair. Normally those aren't hard to come by, but it seems that actually everything I have aside from super jump, which obviously doesn't count, I can activate whilst I'm in midair. So we know anything that's associated with these can be activated in midair. Can I throw a firecracker in midair? I should have tested that before running off. Can I throw a firecracker in midair? I'd assume no, actually. Okay, no midair firecracker throws. So, this will be like the best test then I can come up with. Can I manage to throw a firecracker whilst I'm in midair and the client thinks I'm on the ground. Even better, if the server then disagrees and later says, no, you're flying, this shouldn't count. Okay. Do I have any water left? Yes, I do. Let's have a drink. Okay, so when we go back the other way, I'm going to hit 3, and then I'm going to hit 5. 5 after we hit the peak of our jump. Okay, go. 3. I was meant to hit 2. I'm an idiot. Okay, 2 and then 5 after we reach the peak of our jump. Okay. 2. Peak of jump, 5. What just happened? So, something exploded whilst we were in midair. I can't tell. Nothing appears to have been smashed. However, I turned around to target something. And this was thrown. Which means that, yes. This is cool. Yes. So, officially, we can use, with this super jump ability, any item whilst we are in midair. And because the client, or any item that we could use on the ground whilst in midair, because the client thinks we are still on the ground. That's a first. That's a first, and that opens up some really, really interesting possibilities. Specifically regarding the imagination brick. So, the most obvious thing I would say would be, okay, we can now activate any ability we like whilst in midair. So, if we had, multiple of these abilities, we could just repeatedly activate one after another. However, I don't think there exists another ability like this in the game. Not that I know of, anyway. I'm sure I'll talk to Funky or someone afterwards who will know about this for certain. If there does exist another item like this in the game that doesn't just use the same, precisely the same, attack thing, or I guess it just needs to be anything that makes the character jump. It doesn't need to actually bear any relationship to this. It just needs to be something that moves the character up by some amount. Because if we get something that moves the character up by some amount, we activate this, we activate that, and then we are in a state when we are higher up, where we're higher up. And that might make this achievable. Okay, so other things. What else can we test about this? So one thing I'd like to test is, quick builds. Certain quick builds you seem to be unable to interact with whilst you're in the air. And I know I've looked at quick builds as the possibilities of getting interesting bugs in the past. Okay, other things to check out. I can't move whilst I'm doing this. I'd quite like to see what happens if I'm in this state and land on a bouncer. If I had something if I had the Witch's Broom, which sends you charging ahead and does damage to enemies, then I suspect that would still move me. I obviously can test it, and with this character, because even if I had the perms, I don't have the levels. So I don't see any way I can test that. What other what weapons do we have available to us? The other interesting things are, I don't know. What if you could now? I mean, you wouldn't be able to do this legitimately, but are there any equivalent things which kind of build something around you, like the Scratch or like the Engineer turret? If there is anything like that in the game, again, that we can use. We can do stuff like Spin Jitsu in the air. That's totally possible, although you could walk off something whilst doing Spin Jitsu anyway. I'm pretty certain Spin Jitsu just basically locks your ability to jump. Okay, so we've got all of this improved Scythe of the Whirlwinds. Could get that, but we know what that's going to do. And we don't really that's an instantaneous effect. That's not really going to do anything to get us height. We then have the remaining items. I guess our best bet then is to go over to the Venture Faction vendor. Because that's going to be like the main place at the moment we can get items that have any interesting effects. Can't go to anyone like Mr. Ree, anything like that. So the fact, and yeah, I don't think anyone sells you anything with that many interesting effects in Gnarled Forest. So we're limited to our faction vendor and to the other, I guess rank 1 and 2 classes for Venture League. Which, I mean, if they all have double-handed weapons and they all give us this second attack right away. Oh wait, no, this was something I should check. Can I accept in midair? Yes. I'm pretty certain there's something I can't do whilst in midair. And I mean, obviously this glitch should allow me to do pretty much anything I like in midair now. Maybe it was binoculars? Maybe that was just me going out of range. It's probably just me going out of range. Yeah, so if I do like low jumps, I remain in range. Do I? So I'm going to hit shift. Yeah. Wait a second. That was not the pair of binoculars I was meant to be looking into. Anyway, station. So yeah, what does this seem like? Hey, Mustache Man. At the moment, it seems like we're entering. We're getting the bug. It's playing the one attack whilst it thinks we're still on the ground. The attack only ends when we actually do hit the ground, unless we cancel it by attacking. So what does that mean for other stuff we could possibly do whilst in midair? This bug might let us get away with. Alright, let's see what other things we have. So, Daredevil. Makes you leap on enemies doing 4 damage. I mean, if this were a separate attack... It isn't. No, it's okay, so that's identical. They literally just had identical attacks, that's kind of boring. Yeah, let's reboost to nearby characters, 600 seconds. I wonder if that stacks. Adventurer hat. Oh, so that was the hat I was looking at. Okay, what is the... Whip stuns enemies. That's not interesting. That's not interesting. Okay, so we've got nothing else interesting we can do until we reach Mr. Lee or until we get some interesting items. Everlasting consumables might be a good shout if you want to abuse this somehow. For now, I'm out of ideas, but this definitely opens up a ton of possibilities, because, like, it gives you a way to activate any item whilst in midair. Boom trap kits. We can get those. We're far enough in the quest line. Yeah, indeed. Well, you joke about this being the big brain faction, but we've just discovered a bug. Menkru was helping me with this a minute ago. Yeah. We discovered a weird new bug. Over there, bag of faction tokens. No, we didn't. Okay. I don't know why I'm bothering getting this, because like, it's not going to make a difference. Yeah, boom trap kits. So we can now place a boom trap kit whilst in midair. This glitch. I have no idea where the boom trap kit would land. But it's definitely worth... Definitely worth testing. Don't know whether or not I'll get around to testing it today, but anyway, this means we've got to do a quick run through of Gnarled Forest, see what happens. There, we're going to need to use a clip or two to get where we're trying to go. Okay, this is interesting. I'm going to end this soon, I think, because I've got stuff I still need to do today. But I mean, this is amazing. I was not expecting to find a bug like this. Okay, so we're looking out. Probably interested in getting faction tokens. I mean, for now, I'm in no huge rush to do so.
Look at, well done.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess that's something interesting to test. What happens if you are in the standing state and someone builds a bouncer underneath of you? I'm assuming nothing interesting, if I'm honest. I don't see why it would do anything interesting, because the bouncer's meant to chuck you from the standing state. I wouldn't expect anything different to happen. We don't have any good ranged, okay. But also, yeah, I've got to run through the quest chain. Oh, okay, no I don't, because this is bugged, I can pick up the quest chain over the next person. Or it's not just not bugged, not implemented, rather. Oh, and the original thing I was going to do. Let's test how this works. It does nothing to enemies, it would seem. Yeah, okay. I was interested, you never know. Okay, so who is it who offers me? Don't want that reward. So is it that guy who offers me? Yeah, I think it's that guy who offers me the reward if I literally just go and talk to the guy who offers me the reward of five of the. Who is it who does? Maybe I need to. No, don't come. Maybe I need to complete this mission and then go to this guy. Okay, it looks like that. Okay, so 5 evil crates. Okay. Let's say. I mean, we also don't have a gun. Okay, I could do this the proper way. Or I could do that. That seems like that's going to be... Oh, wait, no! We've got a charge up that fires a projectile. I forgot about that. Oh well, we're not doing a damageless run. Okay. Don't have a good way of recovering imagination other than this, so let's just do that. Not that the funky thing isn't the best way of recovering imagination. Okay. Let's just smash some of these. No, you're not going to give me any imagination. Useless. Yep, and you should respawn shortly. Come on, where are you? Where are my murderous chests at? There we are, okay. This is Ned. Are you not going to give me another mission? No, okay, so I need to do that, it would appear. I have nowhere near enough imagination for that. I still won't once I finish that, but I can get it a little bit further and hopefully it doesn't despawn first. Okay, now I just need one more imagination point. Come on. Don't despawn, please don't despawn. I know the game's not actually evil and out to get me, but it doesn't mean it's not evil and out to get me. Okay, take two. We're saying, let me just get chat back up because I managed to lose that because I'm an idiot, as we've established many, many times over in these. Okay. There we are, okay. There we are, okay, so this is what we're going for. We're going to need to use it at some point with this character anyway, which is glitched through and buy ourselves a supply of these things. I mean, we could also fight the Stromling Ape. I mean, that would be the standard way to do it. I don't know if we actually have enough stuff to fight the ape at the moment, and no one else online right now that I know of. So yeah, let's... Yep, so that guy's there, so I mean, I don't fancy my chances. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull off a couple of quick build clips. I'm not going to him because he's going to try and give me stuff in return for coming to him. Actually, maybe he won't. Maybe it's just LU score and he just offers me a mission. But regardless, I'm not going to go to him because I don't really care. Okay, clip through. There, get around here. Where do we go? It's been a while since I've done this. There we are. Okay, and then this disappears. Okay, so we can come through here. We'll take 2 more boom trap kits, and then we two more boom trap kits will manage to make it to the place where we can buy more boom trap kits, at which point we have reliable supply. I'll get like 10 or so there's no chance we'll ever be stuck without them. I think I just put it down like right here. Been a little while since I've done that, but yeah, easy enough. Now we turn around and run back. Actually, let's quickly first off. Can't do that mid-air. Okay. So we wait until so it seems to think at a certain point that I've landed, which I mean I'll always take. So at some point, there we are. Yeah, at some point it then lets me do stuff like this. Not yet, it seems. I wanted to get some back so I could use full steam ahead. No, okay, let's just run through. Nothing too unusual. Standard quick build clip. Get through here, we'll buy ourselves up more of these. And then, hey presto, we'll be done and we can go back. Well, we don't need to go back. I mean, we'll just test this out. I have no idea what this is going to do. There we are. I didn't even fail any of the quick builds. All of them worked out. Well, it's good to see. When you say "and it's gone," is that just sanity as you watch me clipping through the world? That's an appropriate reaction to those clips. Oh, let me equip this. Don't need healing bananas. I thought those were the other bananas, honestly. We go through. Now we buy ourselves enough boom trap kits to get us back here, and then we test the bug. So that will give us 2 extra. There we are. 2 extra to bug test, like 20 to get back here. We won't need all of those. It's kind of 20 for other stuff. Yeah, might need at any point. Okay. So we want to see what happens if we use one of these whilst in mid-air. So let's just show what normally happens if we try to use one of these whilst in mid-air. Oh, it... Okay, didn't expect that. So I use it whilst in mid-air, it chucks me back down onto the ground. Huh. I'm surprised. Because like most things you try and use in mid-air, they'll just refuse. So maybe this bug doesn't actually help out with that at all. There's still a chance it might though, because it may well depend. Okay, let's just... This is why you always buy extra. Okay, so we're standing on the ground. Say I look here, I'm standing on the ground, and I try and place something. What happens? I'll place it at my feet. Ah, that's the problem. So no matter what I do, it will always try and place it at my feet on DLU. Because that's a bug. Okay, however... Oh, the best song. I think Cooley's Real has got to be the best song, is it not? Also, what is the damage on this? Just interesting. 1, 2, 2, 3. That's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so let's see what happens. So let's just test this again, just to see 100% what happens. So I'm going to jump twice, 5. Okay, so it's... So when from the second I hit 5, it does stun lock me. In each you can smash some sharks without a gun. Is that possible here? Yes. Only with the... Well, normally it would only be possible for... An arbitrary faction, it would normally only be possible for Quixsicle, because you can make a running double jump from there into here. However, let's just super jump this, see if that works. Super jump seems to smash things up above as well. It seems to have quite a wide range of smashing stuff. You can also use it to get down that crate in Nimbus Station. Plenty of time you can waste on watching someone else play TLU. Oh, you have missed out so much, Vicey. We found a bug. Okay. So, what do we want to do? Hopefully, I guess the feeling is hopefully this mid-air's it. So, hit this. Once I'm at the peak of my attack, I hit 5. 5. I was too slow, and it didn't play. It didn't attack at all. That's interesting. I don't know why. Maybe it'll be easier to go back to the monument to test this out, but I'm going to give it one more go here, especially given it's not actually like taking my stuff when I do it, which is like brilliant. So let's try again. 2 from peak 5, and it spawns right on the ground. Okay, I'm going to try this once again. We'll try this once again in the back gardens. After this, if this doesn't work, I think that's gonna be about it for this stream. Because I mean, I think I've tested about. I mean, this is a really cool glitch. Okay, so for the benefit of people who weren't here when I found this, super jump. Both the Buccaneer and Daredevil have the attack super jump. And basically what they do is, well, it makes you jump up. However, the game is a little bit bugged here, because when you use most attacks, it assumes that you're going to land back on the ground afterwards, and therefore it keeps you on the he's about to land in the ground state, which basically it just keeps you in the walking state. It never bothers to update your state. However, with this particular attack, it also had to accept the fact that because you're basically doing, say, this is the attack. It had to accept the fact that because you're like double jumping like that. Oh, wait a second. What if I do this? Okay, that doesn't work. Because I'm double jumping, because basically, so this attack looks like a double jump attack, but the issue is enemies can run underneath you. You don't want the animation to force you through enemies that are on the ground, so basically the game, from the second you reach your highest point, it puts you, like everything, like all these other attacks, it kind of assumes you're going to remain on the ground. However, it also, when you reach the highest point in your attack, starts you on a ground pound attack, because from the highest point in your attack you could potentially hit enemies. The Stromling might have run underneath you whilst you were doing this, so from the peak of your attack you are now executing a ground pound attack. The thing with executing a ground pound attack is presumably all the stuff that's designed to stop you doing other stuff whilst executing a ground pound attack is reliant upon your state, i.e. the fact that you're in the ground pounding state, the fact that you're in the air, the fact you can't do stuff. Therefore, if I do this, if I apply this, and after I reach the peak, I can get the timing sometimes. I don't know what it is with the timing. Sometimes I can't make this. Inevitably when I'm trying to show it to someone. Basically, from the second you reach the peak of your jump, you can manage to, you can attack just as though you're on the ground, and that includes anything. Any of the attacks you would normally use as though you're on, you normally couldn't use unless you're on the ground. That includes anything on this hotbar that like normally you couldn't use. Now suddenly you can. You cannot start a new jump, but at least insofar as I've tested it, because you need something to get you out of the ground pound state. You need something to override the ground pound, and the only thing that can override the ground pound is an attack. However, the second you attack, you basically, you then get stun lock, because I'm gonna hit attack and then space. Attack, space. Okay, so attack, space. Attack, space. So you can see there's that period of time after which I'm stun locked and can't do anything. Or within which I'm stun locked and can't do anything. That was an awful jump. However, yeah, that's the bug. And it lets you do stuff in the air that you should never be able to do in the air. In theory, if we could find a second one of these, a second super jump, you could stack multiple super jumps on top of one another. However, unfortunately, anything else that does this, my money's not on it working very well. Basically, anything else that also implements a super jump will probably implement exactly the same attack, which means they'll be on exactly the same cooldown. Certainly, the Daredevil one will be. But let's give this a go. So, I'm going to hit 2. So to demonstrate this, 2, 5. Okay, so I hit 5 in midair. That's interesting. So that didn't spawn. That seems like that's the one of the only things that actually won't activate whilst I'm in the air. I didn't spawn a quick build anywhere. That's weird. However, okay, let's do the far easier demonstration. Get 2, kind of standard, and now I attack, and you see those are playing the attacks that I should be playing whilst I'm on the ground. And we're managing to play as whilst in the air. I can also pull off other things like throwing firecrackers mid-air, which you shouldn't be able to do. I can demonstrate it again because, like, okay, so this is it's gonna throw the firecracker in this direction. So, cracker, and you see I threw that whilst I was in mid-air. Now let's try what normally throwing it in mid-air looks like. Normally nothing happens. So basically the client thinks you're on the ground, and I mean the server doesn't know to correct it. It wouldn't have known to correct it in live either. It seems this works for any attacks. I have thus far been unable to do anything. It's worked for attacks, charge-ups, stuff like that. I have not been able... Wait a second, let's just try something. Let's just run. Okay, so I'm now going to press Alt. Press and hold Alt. Okay, so I've got to... Oh, I don't have enough imagination for the charge-up. That's what's going on there. Okay, so press and hold Alt. Okay, yeah, so I normally cannot jump whilst doing that. So again, that would let me do that in the air. Again, we're looking for weapons and abilities that would be useful to do mid-air. Isn't there a consumable that's basically a super jump? Not to my knowledge. This is, I'm pretty certain, the super jump item you'd be thinking of, if I had to guess. Oh. What if? Okay, here's a suggestion. Forbidden Valley. We combo this with using the Witch's Broomstick. Because the Witch's Broomstick, right, that charges you forward. That charges you, like... That'll charge you pretty much straight forward. If you could position this directly right, then basically it would be equivalent to doing this. If you did that up into one of the hot air drafts in Forbidden Valley, what would happen then? Well, you'd still be in the ground state. Now, I don't think anything would have taken you out of the ground state, because you're in the ground state from... I don't know. I feel I'd have to test this. I think it might be possible to get into a Forbidden Valley air draft whilst in the ground state. Obviously, I can't test that on DLU. Nor can I test it on LCDRU for that matter. No, that's not true. In LCDRU I can spawn phantoms in. However, that will be a bug to investigate another time, because it is coming up to 2 o'clock. There is stuff I have left to do today, because I've done nothing today, because this was my kind of relaxation after yesterday's exam. But yeah. So this is cool. We have this super jump item, and yeah, I mean we found a bug. A bug which, I mean, in theory that could be what gets us the last bit of height we need to get that imagination brick. But for now, basically, I don't think I have much else to do. My throat's beginning to hurt and my water is out again. So yeah, for now, thank you all very, very, very much for watching. I've been Intro. I've been playing this on DLU. So yeah, huge shout out to the developers, specifically DLU devs, but honestly all the developers who contribute to this community, because DLU wasn't just built off of the work of the DLU devs. They also have the other people in the community to talk to ask for advice from, because there's a huge amount of experience in this community. So huge shout out not only to the DLU devs, but to everyone else in this community, because without any one of them, this would not have been possible. With that, I've been Intro. Thank you all so much for listening. Heck yeah, we found a new bug. Like this is the first jump height related. This is the first height related bug we have found in LU. Thank you all so much for staying tuned on a really, really random stream.